Welcome, besties, to another episode of Book Space Chatter. Today's wonderful guest is Sophie Sullivan to talk all about her Christmas release, You Make It Feel Like Christmas. Do you want to briefly, I know we don't want to give away any spoilers, but explain just a little bit of what readers can expect going into this?
Yeah, I think that readers can expect a little mixture of Christmas fun. I had a lot of fun, including the holiday things that I love in a book as a reader. There's some let's just say there's a reindeer onesie, and it's not a child's reindeer onesie. There's a scavenger hunt. There's lots of family moments. There it takes place at a tree farm, but there's also a lot of, I mean, more serious things. Maisie and Nick actually know each other, and they're reuniting after 6 months, which they did not know they were doing. And Nick's struggling with some mental health issues and returning to hockey, which he's a professional hockey player. And Maisie is trying to find her place not only in the world but in her family. So some little mixture of everything.
Yeah, that sums it up beautifully. This book was so much fun to read. I'm a Christmas nut. I love
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Same.
Yeah, see, you get it. And in all honesty, I start decorating in October.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't know if my husband would be okay with that. He has okayed early November though, so
Hey, that's a
get
win.
there as quickly as we can.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something magical, and I just love it when it comes to the time of year when Christmas books are getting released and
Yes.
you have like a ton of new ones to choose from and like to get to dive into it's just magic. Like books are
It
magic
is.
anyway, and
Yeah.
so if you find a Christmas book, it's just like the perfect little, I don't know, get
Well, yeah,
so
romance is wonderful and it's so hopeful. And then you put it in the best time of the year when people are happy and more giving and more, receptive to things, and it just makes it even better.
exactly. Like your book, You Make It Feel Like Christmas was such a little escape, and I loved
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. It was so much like a Hallmark town from a Hallmark.
Yes.
Perfect. I just love how 10% in and I was just like eating it up. So
Oh, good. That makes me very happy.
yeah, thank you for letting me get to read this gem early. Oh my,
Absolutely.
yeah.
My pleasure.
Have you always wanted to write a Christmas book, or was it just something that came along?
I actually write under my um real name as well, which is Jody Holford, and I have several Christmas books. I love writing Christmas stories again. I think when you pair romance, which is so wonderful, with like the best holiday of the year, that it just is a wonderful setting for a couple to kind of explore where things are going. So I had written some other books for St. Martin's Press, and when I sold Can't Help Falling in Love to them, we were trying to make it seem, because at that point I was doing one book a year, and we are trying to make it find a way to have audiences want more than one book a year, right? Because I mean it's still a business and there's the marketing piece for them. I just write. Um, but they suggested, that we do around the holidays, because then at the 6 month mark, it's like, oh, you have this holiday book from Sophie Sullivan. So that's kind of where the holiday part started. And the first one was fall, and we meet Maisie in her best friend Lexi's story. And then after fall is naturally Christmas. So I was really, really thrilled that I got to write a Christmas story, and I wanted to really go all out and make it as Christmassy as possible.
Yeah, I love that. And you really did because even our MMC's name is Nick. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
it was perfect.
Yeah.
Little Easter.
Yep. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, how did you come up with Maisie? I love that.
Oh my goodness. So her name actually changed like 3 or 4 times. I've never changed names as much as I have with Lexi in Can't Help Falling, and then Maisie. So it's sort of names that I love along the way. And then because I was writing other books at the time with these ones for some reason, actually, it's so weird with Lexi, her name was originally Catherine, and I don't know why. This is how slow I am. I was like, Will and Catherine, that's actually a couple, like the royal couple. And so I didn't realize until like the book was written, and I'm like, this is terrible. But I had wanted to do this play on Catherine the Great because in Can't Help Falling in Love, the whole thing is she used to be this amazing athlete and all these things. So it was like Catherine the Great, and she had fallen, right? So
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, well, who else can she be the great or whatever? Because I got fixated on that one kind of like title, and so that's how she became Alexandria. And so it was Lexi. And then Maisie was actually originally Delilah because I had fallen in love with that name for a little while. And then my daughters went to see Maisie Peters down in Vancouver.
I love Maple
Oh
Peters.
my gosh, that name is adorable. I love it. It's so cute. So then I changed it to Maisie.
Oh my gosh, I love getting to hear the behind the
So
scenes.
ridiculous. Usually I have a name and I'm like, okay, this is good. But those two just, yeah, I played around a while.
Yeah, it sounds like it took a quite the journey to get where you found.
So if ever you come across like in Can't Help Falling in Love or You Make It Feel Like Christmas, a Catherine or a Delilah or something like that, you're lucky you have a special copy that obviously didn't get edited. Because, I had to go through, right? And even when you do the find all for like, Catherine or whatever,
Yeah,
and try to switch it to Lexi, there were, I was changing names forever through the document.
that had to be so
Yeah.
enter
Yeah.
entertaining and difficult to like.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I settled with the names, and I love the name Maisie. It's fun and it's sweet, and she is fun and sweet, but she's also got a little edge to her, which I think actually suits Maisie Peters as well. So I don't know if you know her. She's a singer, and my daughters absolutely love her. She's wonderful.
I actually just discovered her music last year and absolutely loved it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
fantastic.
I
Well, there you go. Maybe she'll read it because it's named after her. So
exactly putting it out there in the world right now.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, have you always wanted to write?
I've always written in some capacity. The earliest I remember writing is like around 11. I was writing poetry and trying to mail stories into magazines and things like that. I was a big reader. I loved Sweet Valley High, of course, like most girls that age that many years ago. Um, and yeah, I showed my brother a poem once when I think I must have been in like sixth grade. And he was like, he's 8 years older than me. So at the time, like he was like my hero. And he's like, wow, this is amazing. Like, and he was so complimentary. I was just a kid and he was like 19 or whatever. And I was like, oh, he likes it. I'll write more poetry. And so I wrote a lot of poetry and a lot of stories. And then over the years, I did little weird, like little random things, like, I'd write into the newspaper for opinion pieces, or I would, back when, blogging was like just starting, because I'm that old, I would write, I was in the teaching program, so I would write about teaching and things like that. And then I'd written a couple picture books when my girls were younger, and then I just started writing more and more. And I had actually gotten an agent for picture books. And while I was impatiently waiting to maybe like publish one, which I never did, I still hope to do that one day with picture books. I started writing a romance and I absolutely loved it. And so I was reading a lot of romance at the time and I just started writing it. And it's my favorite of all the things that I write.
I love that. Wow, you have done it all, haven't you?
I've done, yeah, a fair amount. Last year I put out a rom-com, two rom-coms and a speculative fiction book. Just it's a weird one to explain. She Googles herself and finds other versions of herself. So it's kind of like sliding doors, except that it's in real time. She goes and she meets these other versions of herself and they don't recognize her as themselves. So she is able to interact and talk with these other versions of herself and see how her life turned out by making different choices.
Oh,
So, but yeah, so I have written quite a few and I write cozy mysteries as well, but the romance are definitely my favorite.
wow, that is incredible. And I'm definitely gonna have to check out those other books as well
Well,
because
thank you. Thank
uh,
you.
this sounds so interesting and so entertaining. Um, so is it your favorite genre to read as well, the romance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will say that since I became a more, since I put out more books in romance and since I've had so many books on the go that I've had to write, sometimes it's a little bit harder to read romance
Hmm.
um, because you get in that mindset, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I hope not, but you're reading it like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Why can't I write like this? Or you're like, oh my goodness, like, how come I'm not allowed to write these things? Like, like you start critiquing your own writing while reading someone else's, which takes the fun out of it.
Hmm.
And I get hypercritical of my own work when I'm reading someone else's. So I tend to do a lot of rereads in the romance genres that I don't necessarily write in, like Melissa Foster, she does Alpha Men and, her Motorcycle Club and things like that. And so I read things like that where it's like I'm not going to directly compare myself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I absolutely, romance is definitely my favorite. I do really love cozy mysteries as well, especially when there's more than a little bit of romance in them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love mysteries, but you throw in some romance,
Yes.
like, and it's the perfect read for
Yeah.
me because I'm
Yeah.
a thriller nut. Like I love,
Oh yeah, I used to read like not like super thrillers, but like Karen Robards and Sandra Brown, that kind of
yeah,
romance thrillers.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean,
Yeah,
it's just the perfect combination.
it is.
You get
Yeah.
the suspense, you get
Yeah.
the swoon, you get all
Yeah.
of it.
And there's nothing like a romance when you're like running for your life, right? So,
Exactly. I mean, come
yeah.
on. You want excitement? There you go.
Exactly. Now you just need to do that at Christmas time and you've got everything.
See, there's an idea for your next book.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy that you wanted to come on today and I
Oh,
could talk with you a little bit about this.
thank
Um,
you.
I loved our main couple. Do you have some favorite characteristics about each of Maisie and Nick?
Yeah, I do. I love the idea of someone being gruff, except they have little cracks in their armor. And so for Nick, he's supposed to be in his head these very specific things, this tough hockey player, this, trained athlete that can withstand emotion and all of these things, like whatever's like eating away at him. But then his nephew walks into the room and he just kind of melts. And I love that. I love that little vulnerable piece. Um, and even though, he would push himself to the brink, he would stop everything for his sister and his nephew and then soon Maisie, right? So I love that part of Nick where he's very tough on the exterior and so Maisie's the one that kind of helps get through that. So
Yes.
I love that compliment for them. And with Maisie, I love that, again, actually, I think it's a really similar thing. She presents, especially in the first book, as really confident. And, I think I described her as a badass Disney princess. And she's actually really vulnerable, right? Like she struggles to read. She's got a little bit of a learning disorder. And she grew up in a family of extremely academic people.
Mhm.
Her dad is a doctor, her mom is a doctor, um, her siblings are one sibling is a veterinarian who runs a successful practice, and her other sibling is a lawyer. So very academic, lots of letters behind their names. And Maisie found something that she could do that fulfilled her, but wasn't based on having to go to school for it. So.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. I love how it just sort of shows that like, you'll find your own path. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to fit the mold of
Yeah.
your family that came the generations before you. Like, you'll find what speaks to you and
Yeah.
carry it out. So that was a really beautiful sentiment in that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I think it's true, right? I think we put a lot of exterior pressure on ourselves, and that's what Macy does, right? Like she's truly happy in what she does, and we discount that sometimes because it doesn't look good enough.
Yeah.
So
Like,
she has to kind of learn that that's okay. That's what really matters.
I know it's so crazy because like I can relate to her in the sense of, I would not have pictured this as my life like
Yeah.
3, 4 years
Yeah.
ago. And
Yeah.
I've not even been on Bookstagram for a year yet. So
Aw,
it's so amazing that this is my life and I get to talk with people like you. And
yeah.
I'm really grateful. And this is what makes me happy. And so I'm happy that it found me when it needed to.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Is we especially, well, I say especially right now, but it seems like we you could say that at any point in life because the world is a little chaotic. You have to find what brings you joy.
Exactly. And
Oh,
I picked up a book last year and well, I re-picked up a book because I hadn't actually read anything new for several years. So like
yeah.
I just sort of like got out of it and just would
Yep.
reread my favorites over and over.
I do that all year.
See, you get it. And so like I would just reread my favorite series because I was like I tried picking up another book like shortly after reading my favorite for the first time and I was like this just don't feel the same.
Yeah,
And then I was like, last year I started seeing, Book Talk took off, BookTube and
yeah,
Bookstagram, and I was like,
yeah,
what? There's a bunch of stories out there. I want to pick up another because just because one doesn't hit, don't mean there is not
yeah,
a lot of stories out there for you.
yeah.
And as you can tell, I found plenty.
Yes, you did. Which is good, right? And but I think at certain times in your life you need those comfort reads. And the world is chaotic and it's hard not to be impacted by that, especially when you're on social media.
Mhm.
So those comfort reads are, right? They're like an anchor. They hold you and they keep you grounded while you're dealing with everything else.
Exactly. One of the many, many beauties of reading and being a part of the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we want to keep it spoiler free, but do you have a favorite moment or quote that you would like to share from the book?
Um, I really, really love there's a part later in the book where they get up at like almost midnight and they sneak outside and they're gonna build a snowman, but they're also going to do a little game where they hide some stuff in the tree farm and Maisie and Nick have to work together against her brother and his husband. And of course, her sister is pregnant, which is not a spoiler or anything. So she's kind of staying back, and her husband are being like the judge and doing a snowball fight. But it's such a fun scene. It's a little bit intense because like they're being chased and they're trying to win something, and it's timed, and it's who finds the ornaments and gets them back first. Um, but it's also silly and fun, and I think they both really needed that. And I think those are such good moments in stories, right? And they're both very competitive, and it's really fun because they help each other and they have each other's backs, and it's just a really, really fun piece of the story, I think.
It is, and it's like they had the perfect dynamic going. Like you had the romance, you had the fun, you had the banter, you had the Christmas festivities, and like I just love how there is so much in this one little book that is for everybody to just enjoy. And
Thank you.
yeah, you're so welcome. I loved it, and I loved how it just felt like a warm hug in a
Oh, that makes me happy.
cup.
That's perfect.
I wish like there was actual towns in real life that you could go and visit like the ones you wrote about. Like,
Well, apparently there are like apparently there's like little towns that are like really Christmas themed. And then last year, it's not an actual town, but we went. It's about 40 minutes from my house, in between Vancouver, which is like the major city in BC, and where we live in the valley, and it's where they film Hallmark movies. Because it's called Fort Langley, and there's this, you drive in and it's like the set, and it's just amazing. You actually can walk in, and like when you walk into it, there's like a diner and the town hall and the big, like, it'd be the main building for so many different shows or the grand house or whatever. And you walk around this little town and it's all lit up, and it's just. And then in one of the store windows, they have all the Hallmark movies that have been shot there playing on the screen. Like, it's really amazing.
that sounds absolutely
Oh, it was
cool.
wonderful. My daughter, my youngest, so I have two girls, one's 19, one's 22. But my youngest one was feeling really sick. And so we were doing all this stuff. She's like, I feel really sick. And so we had to leave, which was too bad. But I think we'll go back. It was really just magical to visit it. It felt like you were on a movie set. And there were like the toy store, the bakery, all of these different things that you would actually see. but all decked out for Christmas like one big town.
That sounds perfect.
It
Oh,
was wonderful.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so happy you got to experience that.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was
Yeah.
wonderful. Now I just need one of my books to get filmed there. See?
See, exactly. Putting it out into the world.
Yeah.
Anybody's listening, they know where to find you. I will link all of your
There
social
you go. See? Yes, I'm right here.
Exactly. I would watch it in a heartbeat. The closest I ever got to a Christmas town was a little town in Michigan called Frankenmuth. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh, no.
You
It's got a
need,
cute name though.
I know, you definitely need to look it up because I didn't get to go during Christmas, which would have been
Yeah.
really fun because it would have been all decked out and it would have felt like even more so. But even in the fall when I went, they were doing horse carriage rides.
Oh.
And yeah, it was just so magical, and I love how just the feel of it was incredible.
Yeah.
And so I would love to get to go, to like a whole Christmas town one day. Like that's a goal of mine.
Yep, there's something about like the Christmas lights and the music and stuff. My big dream is not a movie set, but I would love to go to Disneyland at Christmas. That would be my absolute favorite.
Oh yeah, I've never actually been to Disneyland, period.
Oh, we're big, big fans.
Yeah, it looks so much fun, and I think that's just like a rite of passage. Like I think
Yep.
everybody goes to Disney
Yeah, you
eventually.
have to go. You have to go to Disneyland. Yes.
Yeah, better late than never.
Absolutely. And it's just as much fun as an adult. It's different than as a kid and then as an adult watching your kids. It's perfect at any stage.
Yeah, exactly. It I think it's just like because it has everything from like the themes to the rides to
Yeah.
the merch to
And it just feels like magic being there.
exactly. I would love to get to experience that. That's definitely on the list.
Yes.
As
It
if I
needs
need
to
more.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you rather live in a Christmas town, speaking of, for 365 days a year, or not be able to decorate any until Christmas Eve?
I think live in the Christmas town. That sounds fun.
Tell me about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be absolutely okay with that. That was not a bad would you rather.
That was like the easiest answer ever.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
I love that.
Definitely the hot chocolate all year and Christmas lights.
Yes. Oh,
I'd be okay with that.
yeah. The all see, that's another thing that's so great about Christmas is all of the sweets and the candies and
Yes.
the festive beverages and
Yes.
like eggnog. I like eggnog. It's really
Oh, do you? I'm not a huge fan of eggnog, but I definitely love hot chocolate. So,
well, let me rephrase. I don't like any eggnog. I like my grandmother's homemade eggnog.
oh, I love that. And that's part of Christmas too, right? Is those traditions, those things that you do with your family and
Exactly. It just makes it that much more special.
yeah.
Did you have a favorite moment that happened like while you were writing the story, like behind the scenes?
Hmm. I really, you know, it was a little bit strange with the story because every time I write something, it's a little bit different than what I've done before. And with this story, Maisie and Nick had actually met, and so I have a series of short stories out right now. It's called Third Time's a Charm, and in it, there's the engagement and wedding stories for the characters that I originally started with St. Martin's Press, and that was the 10 Rules series. So it's the Jansen brothers. But I put that out and I was lucky enough to be able to write a prequel for Maisie and Nick. So that's actually in Third Time's a Charm. But writing this story, I had to finish the short story. I had to finish the book first because I needed to know that they had a happy ending. So I think one of the, because it's so weird, right? Romance is all about like, everything ending okay. And I knew it was going to, and this was just a way to kind of, give people a teaser of what was to come. But I really enjoyed the moment in the book where like, they're really they care about each other, they liked each other, and for circumstances that, you can read about in the short story, he never phoned again. And so when it's like clear they're still attracted, she's just like, then why didn't you phone? Like, why? And so, and when she finds out, she's like, okay, that makes sense and it's redeemable. And, but I love that. And so that was their kind of first kiss in this story. So it was really, I really enjoyed writing that. It was fun, finally like Macy was like, okay, then tell me why.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you have the communication, like that makes everything much more like understandable when reading stories. And like even for the main characters, but like for you as a reader as well, you're like, okay, it's finally out in the world. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
know what happened, it's
Yeah.
not like this, well, what happened? Like, where'd you
Yeah.
go? Or, it's
I
not
don't
like
need to be mad at you anymore. Okay, go
exactly.
ahead. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's just it makes it so I don't know. It felt like even your book in particular, it felt like you was reading about a real life little family, little group of friends, little budding romance, and it just felt like I don't know, it pulled from every direction because like you had the emotional elements, you had the family, you had the swoon, you had the Christmas fun that just all sort of I don't know, spoke to you and like it just felt
Yeah.
like a real little world. And so thank you for writing it. Like,
Thank you for reading it. And that's such a wonderful compliment because that's exactly what you want, right? It's what keeps us coming back as readers is feeling like, okay, it's where those comfort reads come from. It's, falling back into that family and re-immersing yourself in that little world. And I really love doing that when I write stories.
yeah, exactly. I know there's probably a lot, but what message do you hope that your readers take away from the story in particular?
I think it's a theme through most of my books that it's kind of like a self-acceptance thing. I think I spend a lot of time reflecting on who I am as a person, who I am as a mom, who I am as a teacher, who I am as a writer, and I'm constantly trying to um, be better in each of those areas, which is not easy. And I think for most of my characters, they're struggling with the same thing, that idea that, okay, I should be this person or I should do this thing. And it's, learning to accept yourself and see the gifts that you give to other people. So in 10 Rules, Everly has severe anxiety and she views that as like a detriment. And it's really hard for her because she feels like she's so annoying to other people. But she also watches out for other people and cares so intensely. So it's just kind of, I think the theme through most of my books is taking those little pieces of ourselves that we worry that maybe people don't like and showing the flip side of those and how they make us special and unique. And that's what maybe even draws people to us.
Yeah, that is so beautiful, and
Thank
I
you.
love that that's your like that's what you want to include in your stories because, like I said, it's so magical when you find a book that connects with different people for different reasons, and
Yeah,
that's what makes us all
absolutely.
special, and what makes reading such a magical journey because you never know what part of the story is going to speak to who. So,
Yes, yes, yeah, and that's really exciting as an author when there's that little piece that is like, oh, people will message and say, "Thank you for writing this. I love this piece." And I'm like, "I'm so glad you like that because it's a risk every single time." And this is my seventh book with St. Martin's Press, and I've been so lucky to have readers be so supportive and really enjoy the stories. But it's a risk every time. You never know, right? Like if what you're putting on the page is going to be what connects with that person. And we know as readers that sometimes, for whatever reason, a book, normally you'd love this book, but you're in kind of this weird zone right now in your life. And so it doesn't hit quite right.
yeah, exactly.
So, so being able to actually, transcend that and get and connect with people for different reasons is really wonderful.
Yeah, it's reading is subjective and it takes
Absolutely.
yeah, like it takes a whole lot of elements. Like you said, if you're not in, like if you're going through a little bit of a slump or if you're not in the right headspace for
Yeah.
a certain story, like it's gonna take away from it just because you're not in the zone like you usually,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it makes a
Yeah.
difference. It really does.
Yeah, reading is an emotional thing, right?
It
When
is.
you're connecting to it, it's becomes part of you. My girls and I are terrible for it, but every now and again, if they're like really kind of sad or kind of, just kind of moping around and stuff, I'm like, what did you just read? And it's typically a book hangover. Like, it's just like, okay, that book is over, right? Like, I always ask because I'm like, did you just read something? Because, do you need a new book? And usually that's it. Yeah. Yeah, we get really impacted by the stories that we read.
We are. I the book Hangover, that is absolutely perfect. I that describes it so much because like I remember years ago when I read my book for the first time, my favorite book, I was literally walking through my kitchen. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't done with it, but I would like walk through the kitchen and I was just like sort of in a daze because
Yeah.
I could not think of what was gonna happen next, which is so
Yep.
funny.
Yep. Yeah, you really, I mean, if you love to read, and that's the thing about like as a teacher too, like trying to explain that to kids, just try it because there's nothing else like reading where it actually pulls you in. And sometimes I'll find myself thinking about these things and like, who did that happen to? Oh, it's in my book. Never mind. Like it, like it feels real and it pulls you out of other things and drops you into this place that is somewhere you really want to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really beautiful thing, and I'm
Yeah.
really happy that there are so many authors out there who want to share their stories with the world
Yeah.
and give readers a place to escape to and a place to enjoy and a place to just live in a little bubbly world for a while.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important that we have so many books out there that, the diversity is there and the inclusion is there. And because we all like, there's absolutely nothing like opening a book and connecting with the character and connecting with what's going on and being like, okay, so maybe that's okay for me too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm so happy that you wanted to guest on here today,
Yeah.
this week's episode. It's so fun when I get to chat and especially because I got to read the book early and I just loved it so much and I'm so
You're
happy
so
that I get to feature the book and you on an episode of the pod. I know I've kept you on here for a minute, but is there anything exciting or what you want to hint at that readers can expect with you for the rest of this year?
In terms of books, yeah, I mean, this is my second book coming out this year. Get Lost with You came out in February. So if you're looking for a summer read, The Love Naturally and Get Lost with You are really fun. They're all based around the summer and this little island called Smile. Lots of found family there and lots of fun there. And then so. The third book in that series is coming out next February. So I've got You Make It Feel Like Christmas and then that book coming out. And then I'm actually working on the final book so the book in You Make It Feel Like Christmas, and Can't Help Falling in Love. You'll meet Ethan. He's Will's best friend. And so I'm actually working on that third and final book, right now. And that one's well, it's tentatively called, don't quote me on this, but right now it's called Meet Me at Midnight. So we've got fall, Christmas, and New Year's. So,
That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I just got so excited listening to that.
oh, good.
I loved like the arc of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
holidays. Like that's just so magical. Like not a lot of people would think to do that. So
I
uh,
could happily write just like holiday romance for the rest of my life.
yeah, that's amazing though. And like believe me, you have people signing up to read it. Come on.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you heard her folks. Like that is exciting. And I will link all of Sophie's socials in the description where you can follow her, check out her books, find them on Goodreads, and do all the things where you can find your next binge-worthy read.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was really awesome. It was lovely to meet you.
Oh, it was so lovely meeting you. Thank you so much for wanting to guest on here today. I had a
Yeah,
blast talking to you.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Super
Well, yeah, so y'all be sure to tune in next week. And yeah, please go check out Sophie and her books. You will not regret it.